Alright, so we have our pages.html page, and we have a list of pages inside of a table. But what we need to do is we need to add some buttons here. One to create a new table, a new page, one to edit a page. So if it was a production application, you would select one, click edit, and also a delete button. Okay, so you would select one or more and then click delete. Alright, and we're going to use Bootstrap button groups, which I believe they're under components. Right here, button groups. And you can see what we want is something like this right here. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. Now I don't want to actually use a button tag. I want to use an A tag or a link. And we can do that and still make it look like this. But for now I'm going to copy this. And we want to go, let's see, where do we want to go here? Actually, you know what I want to do is I want to go to pages.html, and then I want to go right here where the H1 is, okay? And let me just show you on the actual page. Okay, so here, this title is spanning across this whole area. What I want to do is cut it in half. So give this a 6-column div, which will be half, and then have another 6-column div here, and then put the buttons in here. Alright, so to do that, we need to create a new row div. Oops, got caps on. So row, and then inside there we need call md6, and then another one. Alright, and then I'm going to copy the H1. I'm going to cut it and put it here. And then we can put our button groups here. So let's grab that code. Okay, now I want to change some things here. I'm going to change the button tag to an A tag. Get rid of the type button. And then we'll just have an href. That'll go to nothing. Alright, and then just change the ending button to an A. And do the same thing down here. Alright, and then we'll change the text. This will say new. This will say edit. And this will say delete. Alright, so hopefully that works. Let's go ahead and save it. Excuse me. Reload, and there's our buttons. Now I want to push them down and also to the right. So let's go back, and I'm going to add to this div that's surrounding the buttons, I'm going to add in a class of actions. Alright, and then in the CSS, we'll say actions, and I want to float to the right, and also add a margin top of 20 pixels. And there we go. Now I also want to add some icons to these. So we can actually copy, let's just grab this icon tag here. Put this right here. As far as the icons, let's change the first one to plus. And the second one is what? Edit. Let's change that to pencil. Actually, for this plus one, we have to get rid of this folder. Alright, and then the last one here is going to be remove. Okay. And there we go. So we want to do this to the other resources as well. We can just copy this entire row, which has the 6-column div with the header and the heading, and also the 6-column div with the buttons. Okay, so I'm going to grab this whole row, copy, and we'll go to categories. And basically, we're just going to replace the heading, the H1. Okay, so we'll paste that in, and of course we need to change the text here to categories, and let's change the icon back. Okay, so now if we go to categories, we also have these buttons. Okay, so we want to do the same thing for the users. Change the icon. Alright, so that takes care of that. Next we want to do the breadcrumbs. Okay, so we just want a little bar here that's going to tell us where we're at relative to the dashboard homepage. Alright, so actually let's go to Get Bootstrap and grab an example. I think it's under CSS. Oh no, I think it's under Components. Yep, right here, breadcrumb. Okay, so this is what it looks like by default. So I'm going to copy it. It's actually an ordered list. And then let's see, where do we want to put this? Let's start with the pages.html. And I think we want to go right under the row that we just pasted in, which is right here. Yeah, so we want to go right under that. Okay, so let's change this home to dashboard, and then the active class, the active list item is the page you're on. So we only have, we can get rid of that because we only have one page, which is going to be pages. Okay, and the dashboard will go to index.html. Alright, so let's check that out. Okay, so there's our breadcrumbs, looks nice and clean. And we'll do the same thing with categories and users. I'm going to copy this. Go to categories. Again, we want to go right below that row, right above the table. And we'll change this to categories. Save, and then we'll do the same thing to the users. Okay, we'll change this. Users. Alright. So now they all have the breadcrumb. Last thing in this video is the pagination. Okay. Again, that's another Bootstrap component. Has some nice sample code we can copy. And we want to put this, let's see, right under the table. Actually, let's start with the pages. So right under the table, I'm going to paste that in. I'm just going to indent this. Alright, so save, and then we'll take a look. And there's our pagination links. So we want to do the same thing for categories and users. Right under the table. Save. Users, same thing. Save. So categories. Oh, we didn't link the side menu. But anyway, you can see the categories and users also have pagination. Alright, so that is the, what do we do? The pagination, breadcrumbs, and action buttons. So in the next video, I want to implement table sorting so that we can click on one of these headings and it'll sort the items automatically.